the recording. And I am going to stop my video so that I'm not distracting, and you're ready to go.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks, Kat. Well, welcome everyone. We're so glad to have you with us today. And this is a really special event because I know that many of you are interested in increasing your enrollment for your schools. And this time of year is a transitional time for many families. They're moving to new areas, trying to find new homes. And whenever these parents are searching on the internet for where should we move and where has the best schools, they're always going to run into the site that we're going to talk about today, and that's Niche. Niche is the clearinghouse essentially of information about schools. And that's why this information you're going to learn today is so important, because it's going to help you understand how to make your niche profile as robust as possible. So with us today to talk about that are Mary Kate Dukes and Jeff Bucklew from Niche. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to them and let them tell you all about it. Thanks, guys.
Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, welcome. Nice to meet everyone. So my name is Mary Kate, and I work with our charter schools specifically here at Niche in the Carolinas. And my colleague Jeff is also on the call, and he is the supervisor over all public schools in that kind of division. So helpful to know that he's a resource as well. I'm particularly excited to talk to charter schools. I think that you guys do such amazing work, and I love working with the schools in my line here at Niche. So what Niche is as a whole is we are the largest search site in the US. And what families do is they come on our site, they look at school profiles, and they make decisions based on what they've seen. So as you can see, I have the Niche site pulled up right here. And really there's not that much you can do on Niche except for look for K-12 schools, colleges, grad schools, and then places to live right up here is very important as well. We want to make this site very clean and very easy. It's always going to be transparent and free for the users. And the reason it benefits schools is because the majority of the time, as Rhonda said, if a parent is searching for a school in their area or a place to live, they will end up on Niche. And what we want to do is make it very easy for them to find your profile. So from a number standpoint, I mentioned we are the most highly trafficked school search site in the country. We had over 27 million people use Niche to find PK through 12 schools last year, 9.7 million views for public charter schools, and then 1.5 million views for North Carolina schools. Now, when I talk to schools in North Carolina, I understand your area is growing like crazy, and there's a lot of people moving into the Carolinas, which is very exciting. A lot of the goals that come across those conversations is we want to be able to get in touch with those families while they're making that decision and in the move process. Our places to live really serves that area. So when a family is searching for the best neighborhood to raise their family in and also the best school option, like I mentioned, they will end up on Niche. And over 28 million families use Niche to find their next place to live. And partnering with Niche as a school really allows you to get in front of those new movers before they've made that decision and allow you to present yourself as an educational option for that family. This is an example of what it looks like on the phone. And really, I mentioned that families come on and do research, and on average, they're looking at about 3 profiles at a time. We're a bit unique as an online platform where our goal is to get them from your profile to your website as soon as possible and really be that vehicle that drives all that online traffic to your profile and to your website so they get in touch with you directly. When I talk to charter schools, a lot of the time I hear if the family reaches out to us, schedules a visit, and comes and connects with us, we are most likely going to have them become an enrollee and join our community. And so that's what Niche wants to do. We want to drive all that online traffic to you guys directly as quickly as possible. Now, when I talk to charter schools and they say, you know, we hear about Niche from families or staff members, teachers utilize it, students are utilizing it. They ask, how are they all getting there? Overwhelmingly, Google searches is how they're going to end up on our site. The reason that is because we spend a lot of time, effort, and energy into making sure we have really, really good search engine optimization. This serves our charter schools specifically because we want to make it really easy for families to find you on Niche. And it serves our users where we're going to appear really, really high in those Google searches and help them make that decision easier. So really, one of the examples as to how they're going to get to Niche is general searches like best charter school in North Carolina. It's going to bring you to Niche the majority of the time. And that's because, again, we're going to show up in those organic searches very, very high. Another one, best public schools, North Carolina. Niche is going to show up in 1 and 2. These are really helping those families looking for the best option for them. And really, it's going to bring them to Niche, whether they're looking for your school and they know about it yet. Additionally, if you try to put in your school name with reviews at the end of it, you'll probably find Niche will come up very, very early as well. And that's because we will help solidify word of mouth if they already know about you and are trying to understand how families are experiencing your school. Lastly, I recently relocated from Chicago to Atlanta, and I did this search quite a bit. Best places to raise a family when I'm looking for the best suburb, the best school options for my family. I want to understand what those rankings are and where those schools fall into those neighborhoods. And again, those families will be brought to Niche over and over again, which will allow them to make that decision as a peanut butter and jelly decision on where to live and where to send their child to school. So every school in the country has a Niche profile. And what I'm about to show you is a basic profile. Why charter schools pay attention to their profiles are because families are finding them online, kind of whether they know it or not. And generally the conversation I hear is we want to make sure we're putting our best foot forward when it comes to our online presence. Whenever I talk to charter schools, I always remind them that there are several things you can do immediately to increase the engagement with your basic profile right now. So I'm going to give you an example of a basic profile and walk you through it. I pulled one from not far from where I am. I didn't want to use North Carolina one, didn't want to put any heat on anyone, but this is Walton High School. And as you can see, it is a charter school. A couple things you'll notice with a basic profile. There will be a map that is a general location of where you are. As I'm scrolling down, you'll see this add to list button. What this allows me to do as a user is like the school, similar to a like on Zillow. And it's going to allow me to add it to the list that I can come back to later for schools that I'm researching. Grades and rankings are going to be in this box right here. If you ever have questions as to where your grades and rankings are coming from, these two buttons right here are going to allow you to dive into that data and see where all of that is really being pulled from. And then you can dip down on the full report card and you can see that these grades and rankings are going to come from overwhelmingly how you report to the government, but you can see they're going to be weighted differently. And if you ever have questions about that, these are really two great resources to dig into a little bit deeper. This general information is going to be pulled from government, really how you're reporting to the Department of Education. And then this is where they're getting to your website. So one thing I always note when I'm talking to schools, make sure this information is absolutely correct and that when families land on your profile, they can go straight to your website very, very easily. Because again, our goal is to get that online traffic from your profile to you as fast as possible. If you see this little button right here, work here, claim your school, that means that nobody from your organization or school has claimed your profile. A couple things on claiming your profile. It is completely free to do. And what will happen if you do claim your profile is you'll get login credentials that will allow you to go into your Niche partner account and make a few changes. Two of those changes you can make today that are absolutely free are adding a virtual tour button right here and a COVID-19 message. Totally up to you, but if you do have families hitting your profile, it might be helpful to add those two things today to increase that engagement. As I'm scrolling down, you're going to see a couple ads. On every basic profile, there will be ads, and you'll see rankings, You will also see ads for other schools. Now, the way this works is when schools opt to partner with us to increase their online engagement, they will use other schools' profiles to advertise on. So it happens in a couple different ways. Perhaps Alfred and Adele Davis, which is very close to me, has deemed Walton High School as a competitor of theirs. So the fact that I'm researching Walton High School, Alfred and Adele Davis Academy want me to click on their profile because they say, if you're researching Walton High School, you should absolutely consider us. And right here we are. Lakeview Academy, also not far from me. And then Pinecrest Academy. All of these are trying to grab the audience of Walton High School and get that audience member to go to their profile and explore their school a little bit more. Every profile will have this homes for sale that directly helps families moving into your area and finding homes geographically close to your school. The last thing I'll touch on with the basic profile are the reviews. Now, Walton High School has quite a bit of reviews. 533 is a very healthy number of reviews. Reviews are important for a couple reasons. The first one is they help solidify word of mouth. So if you have someone exploring your school and they hear from their neighbor, hey, check out Walton High School, it's an amazing experience, they're probably going to Google it and end up on Niche. And then they can read more about other community members and what they're experiencing. You'll see, especially for high schools, you're going to have a lot of your own students engaging and writing reviews about the school, which is really, really impactful for those students coming into that high school because, of course, they want to have a really positive experience. Reviews do lose weight over time. And if there was ever a review that you saw that had any derogatory language or looked inappropriate, you can always report that review. That will go to our CS team and they will handle it appropriately. The easiest way to get more reviews is simply ask. So you have engaged family members, staff members, students, and a lot of the time, especially if you're a high school, your students are already on Niche, utilizing it to find the best college option for them. So work with your guidance counselors to say, hey, write a review for your alum. It's very powerful. It does factor into the grade, and other students, family members, staff are seeing this and they want to know what your experience is like. So for the basic profile, kind of the things I hit, it's really helpful to claim it. It's totally free and it only benefits you guys. For the login credentials, those will be sent to you from someone on our team, once they verify you do in fact work for the school. The virtual tour button and the COVID-19 update box are totally free and very helpful to increase that engagement for those families finding you right away. And then I'm going to get into the monthly profile reports. These are really, really helpful in telling a story of your online engagement. Once you claim your school profile, these reports come automatically on a monthly basis, totally for free. They are most impactful for schools that follow along and they can tell where these views are coming from and what engagement is happening. So this is an example of what it breaks down. The total clicks, it'll tell you how many people are clicking from your profile to your website. That helps us gauge intent and that people are finding something interesting and then doing something with the information they're finding. You can see the breakdown of in-state, out-of-state traffic, and then international. And this is going to tell you where all these views are coming from and show you there probably is a lot of families from outside the area moving in and currently checking you out. And then the awareness is how many people are viewing your profile within that specific month. These, again, come totally free and they help really tell that story of your online engagement. And they're really helpful to follow along if that is a goal of yours to increase that brand awareness and to get your name out there more. So I'm going to kind of shift into the conversation where a lot of our charter schools that want to do more from a marketing standpoint, but maybe aren't sure where to start or know for sure they want to increase their brand online and get more awareness in their community. Niche is able to help these schools in a couple different ways. So I've listed here kind of the main reasons why certain schools work with us. I can tell you what I hear as someone that works with charter schools specifically. Most often I hear that charter schools are a best kept secret in their community, where they have such amazing programs, such amazing community, and their teachers are amazing, and people just aren't maybe sure that they're even an option. So we help get the word out more to people within their own community and let people in that area know that they are an option for their family. And the other is just more enrollments. So if you're a school that is looking to get more enrollments, what the data tells us is people are doing their research online more than ever. And niche can be really, really powerful in kind of checking two boxes. One, if a family is on niche, they're actively researching schools or they're looking to move and they might be looking to move to your area. So for the schools I talk to that want to make sure that they're connecting with families actively in search mode, niche is really the best option for schools that's one of their goals. So I'm going to give you an example of what a premium profile looks like. And if you are looking at your niche profile and you might notice it looks a little bit differently than other profiles. So your basic profile is going to look differently than a premium profile. I'll show you some examples of why that might be. So this is a school that has upgraded. You can see that's what the virtual tour button looks like in the COVID-19 message. And then you can also add more call to actions. Call to actions are buttons that go directly to links on your website that make it easier for families that are finding you on your profile to get in touch with you faster. As I'm scrolling down, you're going to see that they have the ability to add a lot more information about how to apply, visit campus, learn more. And then this is really the about the school that adds a lot more context that you just really don't get from this basic profile. That's pretty limited to just kind of dry government information. They're able to say, why do families choose us every year? And you're able to pick these boxes and adjust them if needed throughout the year to really tell the story that you want to get out there. You're able to add a video on the upgraded profile. And then you'll see as I'm scrolling down, all the ads have been taken off of this profile. And what happens instead is we say, hey, Southern Wake, who do you consider competitors in your area? And what we do is we strip the ads off their premium, their basic profile, and then we add those ads to the competitors in their area. So when I'm hitting a Walton High School, I'm going to see ads for maybe competitors or partners. Similar concept, but really we strip the ads off the basic and then we add them to their competitor profiles to allow for a lot more engagement when families are hitting those profiles. So the biggest benefit of the premium profile is really the ability to add a lot more context, who you are, what you have to offer, and the call to actions that are going to drive these families to your website faster. Additionally, you're able to add your Facebook link and also connect your Instagram. I always kind of say this because I know how busy everyone at charter schools is. This is very, very minimal work. So usually we are just pulling from your already existing website and highlighting links where you want families to get to faster. So the work is very minimal on your part and it's a super simple setup. The other way that we help is something called sponsored listings. So when I'm pulling lists like this, I am going to come to these niche lists. It's going to bring me to these best of lists. So what that's going to allow me to do is get in front of more families that are actively searching for schools in my state or in my area. So this school is sponsored and showing up between 3 and 4. They are not even relevant on this list. So this is a private school and this is a public school list. That's really where we're helping our partners, where you're going to show up even higher in between 3 or 4 on the relevant list. So all those best public schools, best charter schools, all of those ones. And then you're also going to show up on the best private schools in Winston-Salem, best private schools in Raleigh, all those lists that you might not be a part of, but you're going to show up so that you get in front of more families that, again, are actively searching for schools and possibly looking at your competitors. The last area is those best places to raise a family. This helps us get in touch with all those families that are moving into our state, moving into our area, and get in front of them by offering our school as an option as they're moving in and saying, hey, we're available. If you haven't made your decision yet, come check us out. Now, the last thing that we help schools with is digital marketing. So a lot of the charter schools I talked to, they've explored this, but maybe haven't taken that leap yet. It can be a little intimidating, but what we do when it comes to remarketing is we are able to show digital ads of your school after the user or after the family has left the niche platform. Why this is really powerful is because we're able to show highly targeted ads to the most relevant audience. I'll give you an example. When I was relocating from Chicago to Atlanta, I was looking at a lot of public schools in Atlanta, and especially in the neighborhood that I ended up moving into. What would happen is when I would hop off of Niche and get on Facebook, I would start getting ads for private schools. And the private schools would serve ads to me similar to this, see why families choose Trinity Academy. Why that was happening is because those private schools had deemed the public schools competitors, and they're trying to get me to consider them as well. So I'm an actively researching family, currently considering their competition, and that is why it is the most highly targeted way to get in front of those families. These ads are going to be Niche sponsored, so they look like they're coming from Niche, and they're going to appear on Instagram, Facebook, Google Display, and also family-friendly sites like the Weather Channel. And really what it does is it prompts the user to come back to the Niche profile and get in touch with the school directly. Why this is so powerful is, again, that really, really targeted approach. So if you're a school that is into data analytics and you're tracking your website, what you know is who's getting to your website and what they're doing when they get there. What we don't know is if they're a prospect, if they're checking you out to potentially consider you as a possibility. Where Niche is very powerful for charter schools is we know all of the families looking at your profile. We also know all of the families looking at all of your competitors in the area, all the public, all the private, all the other charter schools, whatever you deem as competition in your area. And then we know who's looking at moving into your area. What we're able to do is create a net of the most relevant audience and then serve digital ads of your school to them rather than a shotgun approach, just assuming that maybe they're looking for a school. Hopefully they live in this zip code. We're going to hit those families actively searching for schools in your area. A lot of the questions I get with charter schools is, how do we know it works? Return on investment is a huge deal. And it's something that if you're going to spend any money on outreach, you want to make sure you are seeing the results in a really data-driven way. So really, we prove that Niche works in two ways. So the first one are those monthly insight reports that you're going to get automatically from your partnership manager, who will be dedicated to making sure that you get the most out of the partnership. The second way is we do build out a Google Analytics dashboard that's going to allow you to see all of the traffic coming to your website, even if it's not coming from Niche. We are most likely going to be the top referrer. We'd like to think we're always going to be, but we're going to show you where every single person from your website's coming and what they're doing when they get there. So all the granular details that are very important in assessing the conversion and all that good stuff when it comes to marketing. We're going to build this out for you as part of the partnership package to allow you to get real-time access to your Niche performance, really at any time. So what it means to be a partner, if one of your goals is brand awareness, getting the word out there about your school, we'd love to chat with you. And what it looks like from a partnership perspective is you get coupled with a partnership manager that works with you again for that 12 months to increase that engagement throughout the whole year. And we make it really easy to partner with us. We have a super, super high renewal rate. And I think it's just because these schools see it working and they find a huge benefit in taking advantage of the fact that families are already finding them online. Why not make it easier to connect with them? I'm going to pass it over to Jeff. Did I miss anything, Jeff? Anything you want to add?
I don't think you missed anything at all, but just, need to drive home the point that, we do help schools spend their money wisely versus, like I think you'd mentioned, the shotgun approach. And so it's a very hyper-focused, targeted audience that have raised their hands and are in active search mode that say, I'm trying to find a school right now for my son or daughter. And I think that's really the strength of what Niche can do. So instead of a marketing agency coming in and really asking for dollars and they're not quite sure where they're going to go, or spending on a lot of the old school things like magazines and flyers and mailers that are less targeted, we really concentrate on making sure that we focus the entire campaigns only in front of those people that are ready to make a decision on where to send their child for school. They're coming to us for help. They're looking at reviews, and they come to our site multiple times, and then we can get schools out in front of them over and over and over again, stay top of mind until they make a decision about what the right school is. So, no, but I think that's it. I think, we'd love to partner with as many schools as we can as part of the network here. And we'd also like to, offer some discounting for the partnership packages that we have for anybody who may be listening and wants to reach out to Mary Kate and set up a follow-up appointment to go over specific things about their school. Every school has its own nuances. And so Mary Kate's job is to sit down and walk through those and see what fits best for the school, and make sure that we provide all the answers to the questions about not only the free profile, but any other remarketing as well. And so we'd welcome anybody to do that, to reach directly out to Mary Kate or myself. And hopefully we can help you, like I said, get up and running to maximize the free profile. And then if you are looking to grow enrollment, we can help you with that as well.
Thanks, Jeff.
Well, thank you, Mary Kate and Jeff. Let me just say this. Since I've been in this role as executive director of the North Carolina Association of Public Charter Schools, one thing that I have noticed consistently is that schools tend to underestimate the need for marketing. And then when you're expecting, a certain number of students on the first day of school, and then that number just doesn't pan out. I would say that you absolutely must, at this point, especially if you're a brand new school, make sure that you're doing everything you can to promote your school, to get the word out, to attract those families, to get your numbers where they need to be. Because the bottom line is, if the student is not there, you're not going to have the funding you need to be able to fulfill the promises that you made to those families. So work very hard at getting those children's rear ends in the seats. And this is a great way to go about doing it. And these people are here to help you. I put their emails, addresses in the chat for you. So get in touch with them, learn about the discount, and I don't think you'll go wrong. So thank you, Mary Kate and Jeff.
Thank you so much. It was nice seeing you guys. We are here to be a resource if anything comes up for your basic profile or any questions about a partnership. But we really, really appreciate the time. Thank you so much, Rhonda and Kat.
You're welcome. And they'll be presenting at our conference July 15th and 22nd. Don't forget about our conference. If you haven't registered, go ahead and do that. It's easy to do, ncpubliccharters.org, and it's free. So y'all have a great afternoon. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.